Let me tell you an interesting tale. This tale apparently happened during the reign of Vijayanagara kingdom. The story goes that there was one of the great kings of this kingdom whose name was Krishna Devaraya, and he had what we call as Ashtadiggajas, or 8 great men. And these great men were the people who helped him run his government. So they are essentially his ministers. But one of his ministers always stood out. His name was Tenali Ramakrishna. Most people know him as a jester. Tenali had solutions for every problem. One day it so happened that a young man was born into an affluent family visited Tenali Ramakrishna at his house. He touched his feet with all due respect and he said, "You know, sir, my great fathers, my grandfather, even my father were all called as Pandits. Can you do something and also make me a Pandit?" Tenali said, "Listen, son, what you want is essentially comes out of lot of efforts. Why don't you go to a good Gurukul and learn and be worthy of the title?" But this guy was a bit relentless. He said that, "Well, I tried, but you see, I'm unable to remember or even read things." So Tenali laughed and he said, "Then there's nothing I can do to help you." But then he replied, "Sir, please, you see, everyone says that you are a person with great intellect and you are the person who has solutions for literally every problem." And Tenali replied, "Well, son, certain problems are best resolved by efforts." And he just asked him to leave. But then this young man was literally way too much. He went to Tenali's wife. You see, happy wife, happy life. So then Tenali had little options. So he had to resign. So he called the young man to his house and he said, "Tomorrow onwards, anybody calls you Pandit, act like a crazy man." The person asked, "How do you mean crazy?" He said, "Haven't you seen any crazy people in your life?" "Oh," he said, "like that crazy?" "Exactly like that crazy." So he accepted. And then when he was walking through the streets, one of the Telanis men called him, "Oh, Pandit." And the moment he heard that, he started acting like a crazy person, throwing things at people, looking like a mad. People who are observing, they started gossiping about it everywhere they went. So every time he went, people would call him Pandit and he would act crazy. Then kids came to know about it. You know kids, they'd like to make a fool of anyone. Everybody wanted to see for themselves if this man actually acts crazy if you call him Pandit. 6 months passed. And then Tenali visited that person and he said, "From now on, anybody comes to you, says Pandit, just say Pranam and Namaste." And that is how a stupid person with no knowledge and wisdom became Pandit. You may find this story to be interesting, but you know there is even more interesting so-called gurus of today. There are so many gurus of all varieties. There are happy gurus, there are sad gurus, you name it. And all these gurus, they have no understanding of any Vedic wisdom. Some even say openly that I have not read any book, and people still fall to them. Just because somebody calls them a guru doesn't become a guru. Guru is a great responsible word. If somebody calls you a guru, you have to be personally responsible to him. If you are calling someone else a guru, they don't even know you, then that person can't be your guru. So not many people understand the great things about Vedic knowledge, and yet they just accept anyone as their guru, call them as a great guru, surrender to them, fall to them. That is basically a sign of illusion and delusion. That's all for now. Pranam and Namaste.